Alright, I am very excited today to bring you this deck. This is, there's a Pro Tour currently going on. This is the deck that the world champion Javier Dominguez has decided to bring, along with, I assume, his teammates. I think I saw Alexander Hayne also playing this deck, and some other people. But this is a green-black Phyrexian Obliterator deck. So, I think most people are familiar with this combo. You just play a fight spell, and then Obliterator says the source that deals damage. The controller sacks permanents. So this is the sort of mini combo. And what I think is interesting, excuse me, about this deck is why people are playing it. Because it's been around since this card was printed, and basically no one has played it other than as sort of a meme. But now, if you think about the meta game, it's kind of interesting to choose to play this deck because this can just get bounced, right? Like, this can get bounced by this town and it big enough. So I assume the reason that they're playing this deck is that they just think the mouse deck is the best deck. They think the mouse deck is the best deck. They think that a high percentage of the field is going to be the mouse deck. And this card historically is incredible against red decks. So it's not very good against Convoke. It's pretty awkward if it just gets bounced by... what is it called? This town is big enough. But if you do have it against a red deck and they can't kill you, they can't really attack. And if they ever do attack, they just lose all their board. So it's pretty interesting. Other than that, it's just a green-black mid-range deck. Pretty straightforward. You just have removal spells, Mosswood Dreadknight, Sentinel, some Maelstrom Pulses, and then some nice flex cards for your mid-range deck. Main deck Baloth is fair. A lot of Hopeless Nightmares. Mana base is 7 swamps to get off your Bushwhacks. And yeah, the sideboard is you just switch into regular demons, which I guess that is for maybe the bounce deck and domain. You don't really want this. It's an interesting metagame call. I mostly look forward to giving this a try just because I think it's kind of fun to play this sort of like fair-ish combo. Yeah, it's an old deck. Like, this was a deck people played at like the modern Pro Tour in like 2010, 2013, that era. I can't remember the exact time, but I think Reed Duke is the one who was most known for playing Obliterator Rock. But yeah, this was a card that I played when I started playing Magic, so very excited. This was the first set I ever drafted with, actually. It was New Phyrexia, so very excited to give this one a shot. Sideboard is 2 Stone Brains, but I don't want to craft one, so there's a Ghost Vacuum. And then just a bunch of things that you would sort of expect to see. And like I said, you just can board into Archfiends and Unholy Annex. So this is the list. We're going to give it a try, and I will see you guys in the game. So hope you enjoy. Alright, let's go first. We got a bunch of removal spells. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things go if we don't hit the mice matchup. But we'll see. I assume that's what the sideboard is for. Where, like, even if they get the metagame wrong, which they didn't, it's like 22% mice decks. Even if they miss, they still have a sideboard plan that can kind of work out. Alright, so we got Hopeless Nightmared. Not in love with this. Don't really have much going for me. Yeah, so my opponent's hand is like the Stone Nut, and I think it's going to be very hard to win. But we'll try to get him in the post-board games. I just don't know if it's actually possible. I guess maybe they just don't have black mana, but that doesn't really solve my problem. I have no pressure, I have no card advantage, and I'm getting Hopeless Nightmare 3 times. Okay, sure. Okay, so I guess we're just going to... We're just going to have no cards. And that's sort of going to be what it is. My plan is to pulse this, which feels very bad, but I'm not sure what else to do. It's not like they're that ahead. They might have mulliganed. But maybe we just draw an Obliterator and attack him a bunch. Okay. Probably the best draw in our deck. Maybe Preacher's slightly better, but I don't know. This maybe we just drew the best card. If this gets to live for a turn cycle, that's a lot of value. Oh, okay. Well, they drew probably their best card too, so we'll see if we get punished. If this gets to live and I just get to go for the tracker, then it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of interesting. We'll Duress you. Okay. Alright. Well, they've got a bunch of lands. We've got Sentinel. Our board is better. If they hit here and can deal with this, it might be hairy, but getting these off is going to be really nice. And then maybe if I find lands, I can start cottaging to race. Other Duress. You can bounce both. I'm supposed to attack first if that's the case. I guess I'm not that worried about damage racing. Go for the throat. I think I want lands. I shouldn't have played that. That was stupid. I could have just drawn a tap land. But alright, so now we can start using Restless Cottage. Could have Duressed, but I don't really know what they would have had that they wouldn't have played. Does this matter? I'm not actually sure if there's a card in their deck that makes this matter. Alright, you're at 6. Wow. Well, I think we got away with something there, but I'll take it. Okay. So, don't actually really know how I'm supposed to board. How many lands are in my deck? 23. So maybe I don't go below 25. I think I'm just going to do this. I mean, I can't imagine not putting an Unholy Annex against this deck. The removal is sort of whatever. What does go for? I guess go for the third can kill like one of the larger creatures, but we don't need it. Bronco's interesting. Bronco's probably good. I don't know if Pulse is even good. Probably don't need Harvester. Gix's command seems reasonable. Frillback, good. Probably okay. Tear Asunder, is that good? Probably not. I wonder if there's any reason to Stonebrain this deck. We're just gonna do something like this. I need to figure out what cards I want to add back into my deck. I could just leave in some Obliterators. Like, it's possible. Nah, they just have so many permanents lying around. Okay, what is Pulse good for? Do I want to clean up Pixies? This doesn't really clean up shit. So I could just have the removal. I think my opponent's deck's pretty good at being an aggro deck. And then I'll just leave a Pulse, I guess. I'm not sure. And like Duress. Duress is a card that seems good, but I'm not sure if I want all 4. So yeah, maybe we do this. Let's try 4 Duress. So they can, what's it called? Like they can just, on the play, they can get their blue class off turn 1. So the Duresses are maybe a little worse. We'll probably just leave in 4 when we're on the play, regardless. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand on the draw. Like their deck can be fast, but we have a removal spell and we do have all of our Go for the Throats and cut downs in, I think, so. And draws like this can be good depending on the context of their hand. Like if they're all in on Hopeless Nightmare stuff, this might be decent. And I guess, so the Esper version I don't think plays the Merfolk that taps. So I need to not get Kaito'd, but I guess I have Pulse. So maybe Pulse is important for Kaito. What's the punish here? I'm not sure how they're going to get this to be large. I guess I'll just cut it down. Okay, so I'll jam Preacher. It might get bounced, but whatever. It's not that bad. Okay, so that's definitely a punish. Couldn't do too much about it. Yep. Okay. So we're in a tough spot. I don't think we can win anymore. I think my opponent has it all. The demon is very bad here. And I have to deal with Entity Tracker, so... Maybe I don't even want the demon. Maybe I just want the Unholies. It's possible Unholy's not good here either. Like, is it ever the case that what's it called is good? Obliterator. Maybe. Gets iced by Kaito. Gets bounced. It's flown over by the Flyers. And then they have a bunch of extra permanents to sack when I fight. So it seems very, very bad. Duress, eh? To be honest, it doesn't really seem like that accomplishes that much. They are low enough that I guess I could put the demon into play. Well, that's unlucky. They have 4 pain lands, too. It's kind of interesting. Guess I'm just gonna play the board. I'm at 12. So maybe the harvesters are important. Like, I think I took out harvester, but you just get in spots with the others. Wow. Okay. Well, surprised they didn't just bounce and like try to win. Like, I have a preacher coming in. It's probably not even giving me a 1/1, but GG. Alright, we're on the draw. I don't think we can keep this. Sure. Yeah, let's do that. Another bounce deck. Well, that's unfortunate. So we just cut this down now, but I can't imagine that these are the matchups that you want to play against, but we did beat it once, so... Relatively awkward. None of my cards are good against anything they're gonna do. Okay. I think we're gonna die. So it goes. Such is life. I'll draw. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Oh well, it's fine. I guess the pressure is maybe appealing versus this, but it looks like my opponent's just like curving out perfect on the play, and we're kind of just playing shitty removal spells. They could have no third land. I mean, even then, Huh, that's interesting to not put a monument there. Like, who cares about my Dreadknight? You're just giving me a card. It seems like a horrendous play. But I'm here for it. Okay. Alright, well, maybe we could do some Obliterator stuff. I don't think they're going to put a single large creature into play ever. I think they're going to have 4 this town ain't big enough. I think it's just not... It's not going to be it, unfortunately. So Pulse is nice. Maybe they don't have Counterspell. They could just bounce this, though, if I Pulse it. They haven't activated it, so... Sure. I would love them to find a second copy and put it into play. That would be... perfection. Damn. Okay. So I'm gonna get dominated by this Steaming Sauna. But maybe I'm supposed to wait till they invest 5 mana into it. Too much of a hurry. So if I Duress them, whenever you discard a card, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Yeah, I guess we're just going to try to tempo this Sauna. It's so awkward. Everything is just incredibly awkward from this spot. We're bouncing anyway. I guess I could get to Duress it, but then they'll just activate this and just run into the ground. Yeah. No one's surprised, boss. I Duress. You had one and you didn't play it? There's no way. What? You're just playing around Pulse. That's probably actually a heads-up play. Shit. Well. That's tough. It's funny, their deck looks horrible. Like, they just have 0 cards that discard and Monument. I assume they're trying to... Yeah, I was going to say, I assume they're doing it as an engine where, like, this card doesn't do anything unless they draw another card, which is a terrible way to build a deck, but they immediately found Artist Talent, so... We're dead. Can I do anything? Can I try to win? I guess I should try. See, Obliterator's never going to pump anything up. This is going to deal, like, a badillion damage to me next turn. Could play for another Pulse, I guess is my plan. Just find a second Pulse, clear the monuments, and then hope their cards don't do anything. Yep. So this one draws a card. So now this one draws a card. This one nugs me for 3 or makes a treasure. Made a treasure. So yeah, I mean, this is just beyond over, right? It's been over. I knew it was going to be over. Then it became over. To the surprise of no one. All these go for the throats aren't getting anything done against this deck. And it was very awkward. Everything broke their way. Like, I was in a bad spot, and then they had it all. So, like, I'm losing, I don't know. I'm losing, like, 7 times. This is a lot of losses for 1 loss. It's, like, not even close to close. Okay, so what we hope we draw exactly Pulse, and then pretend that we can still win, which maybe is true. This hasn't been activated. I should have mapped first. That's my mistake, but... Alright, GG. Let's see what we can do after board. So, I'm probably... Yeah, unfortunately we just hit 2 matchups that I think are the last thing you want to play against, and, you know, good call by the people playing the Pro Tour, because people are not really playing these decks in the super high capacity, but we do have sideboard cards. I guess the Pixie deck, I suppose, but we did beat the Pixie deck. This deck seems problematic, but we're just going to do the green-black thing where you take out all your bad cards, and then win the post-board games. And I think that's doable. So do I want Demon? Kind of, I think. It's big. They're playing blue-red. Probably don't have too many ice effects. Stone Brain, sure. Goes Vacuum, do anything? Probably not. And then what do I want to take out? I guess Obliterator. Can leave in some. Maybe it's better than Gix's Command. I don't love this in this matchup. I suppose if they're going to make a billion otters, it could be good, but I have Harvester, I have Obliterator. Just try this. My plan is just don't bring the Monument. I've got long COVID. I've got whatever you call the COVID that never goes away. So I'm just going to be coughing forever. Also, I'm not like... I don't actually know if that's what I have, but I'm calling it that. And it sucks because I've been sick for like 4 weeks. You go first. Yeah, whatever. What are my land drops? Sentinel's good. Tear Asunder seems really important. So, if they play the Shark, we could just get murdered. That's something I didn't account for in sideboarding. A byproduct of yapping. Alright, your turn. So I need to be careful. If I don't draw Swamp, then this can't cast Obliterator. So I guess I'm just going to play Waste and take extra damage. I suppose this is better if it gets bounced. Yeah, it seems like if their deck doesn't have Artist Talent, it doesn't really do anything. Because they have all these cantrips that are just there to make Artist Talent good. Okay. So I don't know if their deck contains Unsummon or not. I guess I'll just attack. Could have Spell Pierce as well. Spell Pierce is a good reason to do it this way. Duress. Sure. I can't actually play it in Obliterator, but I'm fine with playing Preacher next turn and just using the map. Well, my life sucks. Okay. What in the world is this? It's like chalk, I guess. They have an 08 in their deck. I'm losing to this. So that's Slight or Row. So the Slight means they have a play next turn no matter what. They get the loot off. I guess that's fine. Row is somewhat scary. Okay. We're not really losing to it. We might. We probably will. I assume that when their deck has this card, that it is a strong deck. And when it does not, it is probably not playable. Oh, wait. Let's go. It's just breaks my Obliterator. It's very funny. Okay. 17, 11. Still don't have a swamp. So I guess, I mean, I can't Obliterator and Dreadknight. I suppose I'll just go for pressure. So this just gets torched. That's pretty bad. I could just, I guess I could just get torched. This is going to get torched too, which is fine. So yeah, my current plan is this gets torched, or this gets torched, and then I double spell. It's not how you want to do that, but whatever. I don't have the removal spell, so no punish. Okay. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that they have 3 lands and hoping that I can just get them dead. It's going to be pretty difficult to do. But we'll see. They don't have the monuments. They don't have a mana source. Duress is a really good draw. That was lucky. Bounce Obliterator. I don't really mind this. Okay, so now my next question is, and I still don't have a swamp. So I'm attacking for 7 to 4. Suppose I'll start here. So I can't play the Obliterator either way. I think we'll just get him for extra damage. Yes, I was supposed to exile this town, but I'm kind of being lazy. I don't think it'll end up mattering in this game. Maybe it will. I mean, this deck is very good at... these decks are very good at stalling, right? If they can actually get to... what's it called? This town. Yep. Well, we've drawn pretty awfully. We had one good turn, but now we're just breaking to all shit. Okay, I think I could just use the food. So they have to have a 1-mana spell here, but then they don't have anything to discard. I don't know if this is a good play. I assume they're just dead now. Okay. Holy. Alright. See, I could reconsider the Gix's commands. I could maybe think about cut down in this for the Mako, but I do have answers to the Mako anyway. I like how I boarded. Obliterator's kind of a joke, but I have an 08 in their deck. Yeah, they can, they can keep having an 08, I think. Not gonna put in removal spells for it, I don't think. I'm laughing at the 08, but maybe it's fine. I don't know. It blocks the mice pretty well. And they are a blue-red deck, so it's pretty difficult to deal with large creatures. I'll keep. This hand is not the best, but I have a way to interact with Artist Talent. So give it a go. Huh, that's interesting. I guess I'm just not playing the Bushwhack. Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe that's foolish. I just don't think it's that likely I'm gonna... I guess I might want to Pulse on 3, and then that means I have to hit the land, but I'm sure we're favored. And it's not the end of the world if we miss anyway. It's not like I'll never get the mana source. They don't do anything... Okay, well, we drew the land, so I guess I'm just going to keep it all. Like, even if I get to make them sacrifice, like, 1 permanent, as long as they don't play the class... Okay, well, my life sucks. I was going to say as long as they don't play the class, it's not that big of a deal, but... Alright, well, no monument, no red class. Should have boarded this out. I kind of forgot there was 1 Baloth in the main deck, but I guess I'm just going to cast it, maybe. Could do that. That's probably fine. Could also Frillback this. Kind of want to just play a Baloth. Pretty awkward to this down and big enough. And I do have good tools to answer what they're trying to do. Plus, if they ever mess up, we can maybe Bushwhack Obliterator or something. But all the creatures have 1 power, so it's not very likely to matter. So I'm gonna play around Spell Pierce, and I have the Frillback for that. They have a hard counter, you know, sucks to suck, but is what it is. Just straight up chump blocking. Yeah, I think I want to Frillback. So what? They just this town, this, and... my Baloth? It's maybe the worst outcome. Autopay. Autopay. And do I want to exile their graveyard? Or do I want to gain 4 life? I don't really care about these stupid cantrips. I think I'll gain 4. Alright, well I love the spot I'm in now. I guess now they can... talent for sleight of hand. Pulsing these is actually probably worth doing. No activation. If I pulse, I just get this town, so let's double spell. Okay, well, we beat the 2 this town decks we played. I don't... well, let's look at the deck. I don't think that's the plan. I think that our opponents did some stuff, played some questionable stuff, and we got him. But yeah, maybe this is just like a good deck to play in best of one because everyone just plays mice. The Pixie deck is pretty popular too, but I guess you could just play 2 Baloths or whatever. We're not talking about best of one though. Yeah, it's just green-black. I don't know. We never did the thing. We never really came close. We just played against 2 bounce decks, which is awkward. I encourage you to give this a try. Hopefully you play against the mice deck, and then the Obliterator just sits there, and your opponent can't play the game. Other than that, you know, it was a solid green-black deck. Pulse looked good against some of this town stuff where they just stack permanents, and Pulse can kind of clean things up. It can clean up otters. It can clean up the otter class, all that stuff. So yeah, cool deck. Unfortunately, we didn't really hit the matchup you'd hope for, but not too much to say. I think the sideboard plan's solid. You know, it's a deck a pro team worked on, as you'd expect. It looks well built. Yeah, so that is it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.